Samaria holds a fascinating place in the Bible's narrative, both historically and spiritually, and Jehovah's Witnesses understand its significance by examining the scriptural record and archaeological findings that inform their interpretation. Samaria, at various times, refers to a city, a region, and also a population of people in the biblical account. Let's trace its origins, development, and the role Samaria played in God's purpose as understood by Jehovah's Witnesses and laid out in resources like Insight on the Scriptures and articles on jw.org. Founding of Samaria as a city. According to the Hebrew Scriptures, Samaria was established as the capital city of the northern 10-tribe kingdom of Israel. The city's founding is attributed to King Omri in the 9th century BCE. He purchased the hill from a man named Shemer, and the city eventually bore the name Samaria, 1 Kings chapter 16 verse 24. Omri was a militarily and politically influential king, and building a new capital not only boosted his prestige but also gave the kingdom a strategic and defensible position. Expansion and notable rulers. After Omri, his son Ahab assumed the throne. Under Ahab's rule, Samaria grew in prominence and wealth but also fell into deep religious corruption, partly due to Ahab's marriage to Jezebel, who promoted the worship of Baal. 1 Kings chapter 16 verses 30 to 33. Many dramatic events in the books of Kings center on Samaria, such as the prophetic work of Elijah and Elisha. Jehovah's Witnesses emphasize how these accounts highlight God's disapproval of Baal worship and his willingness to use prophets to warn his people. Military sieges and conquest. The city of Samaria was built on a strategically high hill, which afforded strong defense against attack. Despite its fortifications, the kingdom's persistent unfaithfulness to Jehovah resulted in a string of invasions, most notably the Assyrian conquest. The city withstood a protracted siege by Assyria but finally fell around 740 BCE. 2 Kings chapter 17 verses 5, 6. The fall of Samaria effectively ended the northern kingdom, fulfilling Bible prophecy that warned Israel would lose God's protection if they turned to idol worship. Hosea chapter 8 verses 5 to 8. After Samaria's conquest, the Assyrians deported many Israelites and resettled foreign colonists in the region, contributing to the complex ethnic and religious makeup that would later define the Samaritan people. The region of Samaria in Jesus' day. By the 1st century CE, Samaria came to refer not just to the city but the surrounding region between Judea and Galilee. The Samaritans formed a distinct community with a modified form of worship and revered Mount Gerizim as a holy site. Centuries of differing religious views and historical conflicts had led to tension between the Samaritans and the Jewish people. Nonetheless, Jesus often showed compassion toward Samaritans. For example, he used the parable of the Good Samaritan to illustrate true neighborly love. Luke chapter 10 verses 29 to 37. Additionally, Jesus broke social barriers when he spoke with a Samaritan woman at Jacob's well, affirming that the time was coming when true worship would not be tied to any one geographic location but would be a matter of worshiping with spirit and truth. John chapter 4 verses 7 to 24. Christianity's spread into Samaria. After Jesus' death and resurrection, early Christian evangelism brought the good news to Samaria. The disciple Philip preached there, and many Samaritans embraced Christianity. Acts chapter 8 verses 5 to 8. Even Simon the magician, a prominent figure in Samaria, was initially impressed by the apostles' teaching. Acts chapter 8 verses 9 to 13. Jehovah's Witnesses highlight these accounts to show how the Christian congregation transcended ethnic and cultural divides right from the start, accepting Samaritans into the fold as genuine worshippers of Jehovah. Cultural and religious identity of the Samaritans. Jehovah's Witnesses also explore how Samaritans developed their own version of the Pentateuch, known as the Samaritan Pentateuch, which largely mirrors the Torah but diverges in places, particularly concerning the rightful location for worship, Mount Gerizim versus Mount Zion. This difference deepened the centuries-long rivalry with the Jews. Despite these conflicts, the actions of Jesus and the apostles demonstrated that sincere worshippers in Samaria were welcome into the Christian congregation, underscoring the Bible's overarching theme of unity among God's people. Archaeological and historical insights. Articles on jw.org often point to archaeological findings, like ruins on the ancient site of Samaria, modern-day Sebastia, which corroborate details about its fortifications, palatial complexes, and inscriptions. These discoveries shed light on the city's storied past, confirming the Bible's portrayal of Samaria as a fortified city of considerable importance. In particular, inscriptions and artifacts consistent with the Israelite monarchy have been found in that region, lending further credibility to the scriptural accounts. Please share and like and please subscribe.